What is up, my friends? Thank you for joining me today. Today is the day, January 6th, 2022. Today is the day where I hit 500 days of semen retention. That is 500 days without busting a damn nut. That's insane. If I went back into my journey, like a little over 2 years ago, back when 45 days was a long streak for me, I would have never thought that I would attempt a streak so long. And I'm proud that I have, and I'm going to keep on going for as long as I can. And really going back till the age I was 18, like if I were to go back in time, not even that long, like just to age 22, 3 years ago. So if I were just to go back in time, tell a 22-year-old Nick, I'd be like, yo man, you're gonna go 500 days without busting a nut, and you're going to be proud as hell about it. I would think I was gonna lose my damn mind in the future. And you know what? The exact opposite has happened. I am the most mentally secure I have ever been in my life. And that's due to the discipline that I put in over these many days, many months, the past few years of just working on myself that I have done. These long streaks are really something different than just a 90-day streak, a 100-day streak, or whatever. You know, those are great and all. They are good to get your foundation going, but I really believe that everybody who is attempting semen retention at any level should build up, should practice it enough to get to the point where they can go on a very long streak. And I want to say probably try to go for at least a year. Everybody should try to do that at least once in their life. Because, man, during this streak, you will find out so much about yourself that you most likely would not have otherwise. Because this practice, the raising of energy throughout your body, this sexual energy, this creative energy, will really run through your body and unlock all of the karmic blockages that you have left within you. And these karmic blockages, they aren't it's not karma the way that we here in the West view it. Karma is actually a very different thing. Think of karma more as memory. It is a memory that you have from your past, maybe even genetic memory from your parents or your grandparents' past, or even your great-great-great-grandparents' past, that is still within you, that has remained unlocked, untapped into. And this energy will work its way through you and unlock this karma, unlock this memory for you to work through. So this practice is essentially going to force upon you shadow work. And you are going to have to consciously work through this in order to grow. And if not, you are going to be forced into a state of unconsciousness. And if you are still trying to stay on this path while being unconscious, you are going to be in a very uncomfortable situation. And this is what happened to me last summer. I want to say it was back in May through probably September. I was really forced just to take a step back and look inside and do the shadow work. You know, look what's going on inside of me, what I've been holding on to that I haven't necessarily been conscious of until that point. And I really worked through it. And then come September, you know, several months after I started doing the shadow work, I really started to come out more of it. And I started feeling more energy once again, because I did feel like a kind of a low in energy, not necessarily a flat line like people say, but I didn't feel as like driven as I normally do. And around September, October, I really started to pick that drive back up. And ever since then, it's been just insane, the amount of energy. So if you're on day like 30 or 60 or even 90, and you're wondering if you make it into these longer streaks, like a year long, 500 days long, or even longer than that, and you're wondering if you still keep the same masculine drive, that same energy that you had on day 60, the answer is yes. It is always going to be there. There just might be points in your journey where that energy is doing things within your body, working in a certain way, in a different way than what you're used to. And that most likely is going to be, it's working through your karmic blockages, and you're going to have to go through a little bit of shadow work. It's completely normal. Like I said, between May and September, I think that's like a solid 4 months, I took just to do shadow work, really focus within. And then I was able to move out of that, not focus so much on it, because we're always going to have shadow work to do. You're just going to have to learn to let go of certain things within inside of you at the right time so you can move on to the next chapter of your life, or else it will block you and will keep you from growing. But after I moved out of that phase, the energy like instantly came back. The past several months has been just insane with energy, especially the last month. And I don't know if that's because like a month and a half ago, I kind of got sick. I was sick for like a solid 5 days, and I just felt extreme fatigue during that time. And then I don't know if it's the difference between that week and where I am now that really shows me how like alive I feel, but I really just feel on points right now. And I'm going to talk about how I got sick real quick, because at first I really thought you could not get sick once you get into a late streak or a long streak of retention, especially if you were eating right, you're sleeping right, you're working out. I really did not think you could get sick. But if you are putting your body under vast amounts of stress and you come into contact with something at the right time, you can still get sick. That is what happened to me. I was sort of feeling something one day when I woke up. Then I told myself, like I said, nah, I'm not getting sick. I can't get sick. So I really didn't feel like hitting like a workout, but I forced myself to anyways. I drank a coffee, which I normally don't do, to just like get the energy going so I could work out, so I killed the workout. But later in that day, sometime in the afternoon, I really started feeling just fatigued. And that is when I noticed, oh shit, I should not have done that. Then I had a fever later that night. And then the next 2 days I was sick, but then I started taking vitamin C, and I was like instantly better after I started supplementing vitamin C. So moral of that story, don't put yourself under unneeded stress. Let yourself rest and take vitamin C if you need to, because that shit works. And one thing I need to talk about before I forget, before I move on to something else or end the video, is that retention is only one piece to the self-development pie. I always see there's someone in like my comments or someone else's comment section that is like, I'm on 90 days, and I don't feel any energy. What's the deal? And the thing is, if you aren't doing everything else right, if you aren't eating right, if you aren't doing things to work on your spiritual health, like meditate, pray, if you aren't drinking enough water, if you aren't sleeping enough, getting shit sleep, you are not going to feel the energy. You are not doing like high vibrational things to begin with, so you really don't have a whole lot for this energy to play off of. When I first really started to feel like I was thriving off of this energy, I want to say it was around day like 77 or 78 of my first streak, where I think I made it over 100 days. And I really just felt like alive, full of energy, almost as if I was on like a tiny bit of ecstasy when I've been dead sober for so long. And the thing is, when you're on 30 days, you're still going to feel a little bit of this energy, but it really doesn't pick up until you reach that 90-day mark, around that time frame. But, before that started, I was already eating right. I already stopped smoking weed every day. I wasn't smoking it at all. I already learned the benefit of getting a good night of sleep. I already stopped eating processed foods. I was already working out every day. So by the time I added retention to the mix, it made the biggest of differences. You have to be conscious in order to feel this energy. Eating processed foods is not a conscious activity. Smoking weed every day is not a conscious activity, no matter how much you tell yourself that it is. It just isn't. You have to let go of these things in order to grow, in order to enter the next chapter of your life. And one last thing before I end the video. I really want to talk about how important it is during this time of year. It is January at the time I am recording this, dead of winter. It's like 15 degrees outside right now where I live. I want to talk about how important it is for you to harness your own sexual energy, your own life force energy during this time of year. Because this is the time of year where you get quote unquote seasonal depression. When the sun doesn't shine as long as it normally does during the day, when there are no leaves on the trees, when all the animals are in hibernation, and there is just no life force energy outside, at least not a lot of it for you to play off of. This is the most important time for you to harness your own, build up your own life force energy. So by the time we get out of this and it's springtime, man, you are ready to go. You have spent this entire winter building up your own life force, working on yourself, and you are ready to go come summertime. But anyways, guys, that is the video for today. That's all I really wanted to talk about. Any questions whatsoever, drop them down below and I will answer them. As always, like the video and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And you all have a great day, man.